I lived to celebrate the 50th birthday of my first child, though he's hardly a child anymore. And I'm not the trepid 20-year-old who gave birth to him either. It took, or it seemed as if it took a long time for me to get pregnant, but really, he was born 2 months after our second anniversary, so it was nothing. My perceived fertility problems were nothing like you read about now. And I was so excited to be a mother. I had married very early at 18 years old. And I was a girl more than a woman, and anybody who knew me then would have said about me, boy, she is book smart and street dumb. That would have been correct. Ron was 2 weeks shy of being 24 years old. He had served in the Air Force, spent a year in Greenland, had a full-time job. He was a man. I was a child. Our son, Josh, was the first of 5 children, 3 boys, twin girls. And I wish I could tell you that we lived happily ever after, but I try not to lie to my friends. Like many young couples who married in the 60s and 70s, we came to a parting of the ways. We had to go our separate ways, and we had to do a lot of holler, scream, and carry on so that it would stick. Our divorce was acrimonious. It affected both of us and, I'm sorry to say, our 5 children. But like I said, I lived to see my first son's 50th birthday. And as I was helping plan a party that was part surprise, but since you can't get someone in Florida on a plane to Texas without telling them why, Michelle actually threw me under the bus and said, I think your mother has something planned. And for some reason, I felt compelled. I wanted my ex-husband, Ron, to be there too. He was there the day he was born. He planted those seeds, even if he didn't stick around to enjoy the harvest. And I don't know, there was some alchemy at work. Old love, new forgiveness, because of this momentous occasion coming up. And I wanted Ron to be there. So I reached out to my second son, Jeremy, to get in touch with his dad. They lived in the same town. And I wanted to make sure that Ron knew that I wanted him there, that it wouldn't be awkward or he'd feel ill at ease. I wanted him to be there. And he had his own worries and doubts and things like that, not really liking big groups. And so I told Jeremy, let's invite him to breakfast. Because I knew up until that moment, Jeremy was going to pick up Josh, and I was going to meet them for breakfast on the birthday. And really that was for Michelle to do decorating out of, with Josh out of the way and not to know everything that was going to happen. So we met at a breakfast restaurant at Pearland. And as we began to tease Josh about being, my goodness, you're a half a century old. It's tough to say to a kid. In walks his dad. Josh was flabbergasted because other than a couple of weddings and a few more funerals, we hadn't really been in the same room together, and certainly not for conversation other than sorry for your loss. And so there we were, sitting down having breakfast with Mommy and Daddy, Josh and Jeremy, just like the old days that they're too old to remember. But there were a lot of laughs. Not so many tears, maybe a moist eye or 2 or 4. But whatever happened to remember when? And Ron and I began telling Josh the story of the day of his birth. Actually, Ron was at work on the overnight shift at the old Austin Power Company, not far from here. And my water broke, and I had to call his mom to take me. We didn't have time for him to come home and get me. And at the hospital, St. David's, and Josh was born. And Josh became the oldest of the 5. And we went on about our lives. I wish that, I could tell you that everything worked out with the divorce, but it was as acrimonious as the marriage. But a few days after the event, I reached out to Josh. What was it like? How was it? Did he go like you thought? He said, well, I couldn't believe it, first of all. And then as you all got to talking, I saw the charisma, ancient and elderly charisma. He had no idea because he didn't see that. When they were kids, they saw that stuff. How exciting. Ancient and elderly charisma. Not a bad gift to give to a 50-year-old son.